Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. Tonight is Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. This is live stream 706. This is your first time tuning in. Let me point out that this is very, very casual. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news and taking a peek at a tabletop game. So the first half of the show is devoted to the news, and about the second half is devoted to the look at a game. And tonight, we are going to dive on in and take a look at Rackham Vale, which is from Crowbar Creative. This is an old school Renaissance adventure book. I'm not sure if it's a setting or an adventure because this truly is a first look. I haven't even read the back of this book. I really take the first look serious. So I'm as shocked and amazed when I take a peek at stuff as you are watching for the first time. So we're going to be taking a look at this as well as some Bestiary cards, which the fine folks over at Crowbar Creative were kind enough to send along. But I do want to mention, we do tackle the news first. So if you're watching live and you're tuning in because you want to check out Rackham Vale, kick back, relax, enjoy the news. Probably be about 30 minutes. If you're watching after the fact, there's timestamps. You can jump ahead if you want. So, I mean, we got some cool news tonight. But if you're, dying to check out Rackham Vale, by all means, use the timestamps, jump ahead. So also want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. We'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as tomorrow's review of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. For Dungeons and Dragons, yay! From Wizards of the Coast. So yes, my review will be up tomorrow. Also want to point out, you have until midnight tonight, midnight Central Time, to get into the running to win my copy right here of the alternate art edition of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. So if you haven't gotten in the running yet, jump on in. Definitely. Hey, you know what? Like they say, if you don't play, you don't win. It's just how it goes. Also, stay tuned. I will have my review of Heirs to Heresy from Osprey Games, written by Alan Baer. I think that's how his name is pronounced. Very interesting role-playing game of the Knights Templar. Stay tuned. That'll be this week as well. In fact, I got a lot of reviews coming up, and I got to be honest, the majority of them are role-playing games because I have not had, I've been able to do a little bit of gaming, but not as much as I would like. So I've had to kind of devote effort towards role-playing game reviews, which is great. I love role-playing games. You know that. I know that. But I do have some regular board games that need some love. All right. Anyway, I also want to point out when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Also, we are in the midst of the Gaming Gang October Spooktacular 2021. And what that means is each and every day of the month, you're going to find a new tabletop gaming related video over on thegaminggang.com and, of course, right here on the Gaming Gang YouTube channel. Could be a first look, could be a review, or if it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it's the show. Come on. How much time do you think I had to do videos? I had to laugh. I had gotten an email from someone and they said, well, that's not fair. You said there's a new tabletop gaming video every day of October, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's just your show. And it's like, yeah, but it's a tabletop gaming related show. Zoinks. Also do want to point out through the rest of this week, the Gaming Gang and, of course, the Gaming Gang Dispatch are sponsored by...
RockCon is back the weekend of October 22nd to the 24th in Rockford, Illinois. Come out for a great weekend of gaming, including historical, fantasy, and sci-fi miniatures, role-playing, war games, and a wide variety of games for the whole family. Buy and sell at the silent auction on Saturday. Vendors from around the region will be available for your shopping pleasure. Don't miss out on all the fun. Visit rock-con.com for details.
All the gaming your friends will ever need, RockCon. Yes, that's right. RockCon is this weekend, October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th in Rockford, Illinois. I will be there on Friday and Saturday. Still up in the air on Sunday, since Sunday's my birthday. So, and then Monday's my mom's birthday. I think we've talked about that. If you're new to the show, this is your first year hanging out. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have my birthday and the next day is my mom's birthday. And I always, of course, joked around that I was the worst present my mother ever got, and she couldn't return me either. Finally, this is a live stream. So that means there's chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in and I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate was Nicholas Stanishek. Once again, he tends to kind of hang out a little before the show starts. And sometimes I'll like type up where, like, if you notice in the chat, I say, hey, happy Wednesday, gang. This is what's coming. And then Nicholas will sit there and he'll like put a comment in chat, and then it makes mine disappear. Well, it's true. It does. So the Madman's with us as well. Yes, the Motor City Madman is with us. The Madman is one of our 2 chat moderators. Good to see the Madman on a Wednesday. I know every other Wednesday is the Madman's gaming night. So it's good to see the Madman here on a Wednesday. I think, if I remember correctly, I think he mentioned in chat there was no gaming this week. Sorry, but hey, makes you feel any better. You can hang out with us. Disavowed 92 is with us. Keldon has shown up. Crowbar Creative is with us. Crowbar Creative. I don't know. That name sounds familiar. What? I don't know. I believe this is the first visit for Crowbar Creative here on the stream. So welcome aboard. Russell Higgins is with us as well. Omanal is also in chat. Crowbar Creative points out that I did a quick preview a couple of weeks ago. Actually, that was just a news piece. All I did was a news piece and shared some images. And I know everybody, a lot of people in chat and myself were kind of curious about keep wanting to say Rackham Vault. I don't know why. It's Rackham Vale. And yes, the fine folks over at Crowbar Creative were kind enough to send it along. All right. Russell says, RockCon. I just pictured that big geologist from Big Bang Theory going to Rock Show, Rock Show, Rock Show, or Rocky Horror Picture Show. So the madman said, no game night tonight. Last week's was the one that was canceled. I remember. I do remember that you had a recent Wednesday gaming night canceled. I wasn't sure if it was today or if it was last week. All right. Anyway, speaking about the news, why don't we jump on into it? Because arriving next month from Arcane Wonders is Picture Perfect. Here's the skinny. How do you take the perfect picture of a group of people if you only have one try? Each character has different wishes. Some want to be at the front of the picture. Some want to stand next to each other. And some really don't want to be next to that one particular person by any means. Do your best to make everyone happy, even if you don't actually know all the characters' preferences. In Picture Perfect, first released as Der Perfect Moment, you need to arrange 14 characters to take the perfect photograph. Each of them has 3 specific desires that you want to fulfill. Unfortunately, these desires are hidden in envelopes. During the game, the players try to take a look inside these envelopes to figure out how to place the characters correctly. To do so, they trade their information with others, or maybe try to hide it. Whoever earns the most points at the end of the game has fulfilled the most desires and becomes the master photographer. Picture Perfect is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. It plays in around 50 to 90 minutes and is going to carry an MSRP of $44.99 when it arrives next month in November. This looks kind of interesting. And one of the things that really struck me as we go through the images once again is that there's actually standees of Charlie Chaplin and Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. We're going to see that in just a second. Now, you'll see a lot of these. This is the basic game, which you're looking at right now. So it's just cardstock punched out in little standees. And then, as Omenel has noticed, we also have, it looks like acrylic or plastic standees. This is the shot where you can see there's Charlie Chaplin to your left, and then in the background are Stan and Ollie. I thought that was really wild. I really like that. So, I know, I'm a goofball. I am a huge Charlie Chaplin fan. I guess that goes with the territory, right? I'm really digging all the old-time radio shows. I'm sharing that on the October Spooktacular as well. Though I didn't mention that in the open, I will mention that when we wrap up. So this looks kind of interesting, coming from Arcane Wonders next month. Another November release. It's a big one. It's coming from Stronghold Games, and it is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Here's the deets. In the not-so-distant future, should I start singing MST3K? Mankind has finally decided to spread beyond the boundaries of our world. The United Nations is giving out subsidies to any corporation who will invest time and money into the terraforming of the Great Red Planet. Great prestige and opportunities await the company which makes the biggest impact on making Mars habitable. In Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, each player will take on the role of a corporation working to build oceans, raise the temperature, and increase the oxygen level in Mars's atmosphere. This is accomplished during simultaneous play through phases chosen by each of the players. Each player will have a handful of project cards, which they'll build and utilize in order to race their fellow entrepreneurs and gain the highest terraforming rating. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is a standalone card game version of, obviously enough, the best-selling game Terraforming Mars. It features all the same complexity of strategy and decision-making in half the playtime and is easily enjoyed by both new players and Terraforming Mars veterans alike. How quickly can you terraform Mars? Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 45 to 60 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $49.99 when it hits stores next month. And I do believe we are looking at about, I think it's a November 10th release date on this. Very, very interesting. So this was an extremely popular Kickstarter. Did really, really well. I kind of have the impression, now I could be completely wrong because I really don't have any inside dope from Stronghold anymore now that my pal Stephen Bonacore left. But I sort of have the impression that this is going to be their focus, that they will come out with expansions for this game as opposed to the core game, which there really wasn't much left that they could expand upon. I know there was already discussion that they had reached the end of the expansions for Terraforming Mars. I really enjoy the game. I like it a ton. Haven't played this. But if this is a little more portable, a lot easier to set up and plays quicker, I could see this doing very, very well for Stronghold. Something else I'm kind of curious about is, where does Stronghold go next? Because I believe this is the last Kickstarter project that Stephen Bonacore was part of. Kind of curious to see what we get from Stronghold Games now. Kind of curious. All right, who else do we have in chat? We've got Thomas Dale swinging in, talking about Rackham Vale. They've got a copy about a week or so ago. We also have Flaming Huron, our other chat moderator, is with us as well. I think I said hi to Disavowed 92. I'm not positive. Yes, talking about sci-fi. That was a little topic of discussion yesterday. Okay, let's talk about some role-playing game news. Oh, so Russell said they're never doing Kickstarter ever again. Yeah, all you got to do is get burned once or twice on Kickstarter, and that will pretty much end your experimentation with Kickstarter. And unfortunately, right now, we are seeing a lot of Kickstarters that are just like really taking a long time for us to get. In fact, I just saw, I backed the, oh gosh, off the top of my, Hyperborea, which I guess now they're just calling it Hyperborea. It's not Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers or what have you. And that was supposed to deliver in December. Now they're talking about April or May. This is like, Keldon says they're waiting for Terraforming the Sun. Coming soon from You Don't Want to Buy It Games. Okay, there is a new bundle of holding that's available, and it does feature the Deadlands Noir role-playing game from Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Here's the dope. Listen, Flatfoot, we've resurrected our August 2016 Deadlands Noir bundle featuring Deadlands Noir, the hard-boiled fantasy setting for the Savage Worlds Explorer Edition tabletop role-playing game from Pinnacle Entertainment. Noir makes you a detective, criminal, hooligan, or patent scientist on the grim streets of 1930s New Orleans in the universe of Deadlands, Pinnacle's weird horror Western RPG, where the USA is broken up and strange things haunt the shadows. This bargain-priced collection brings you all the source books, adventures, music, and maps from the successful May 2012 Deadlands Noir Kickstarter campaign. Everything you need for darkly fantastic investigation in the shadowy Big Easy. For just $14.95 claims, you get all 11 titles in this revived Office starter collection, which retails for like $60, as there are free PDFs, including the complete 145-page Deadlands Noir core book, plus the Hexaco North America and New Orleans maps, and the player's guide, 30 print and full Deadlands Noir figure flats, 4 Big Easy combat maps, the manor, offices, theater, and warehouse, and the GM screen insights, plus the Savage Worlds Deluxe Explorers Edition rulebook. If you pay more than the threshold price of $26.10, You'll level up and also get this Revival's entire bonus collection with 9 more titles worth an additional $61, including the massive 209-page Deadlands Noir Companion, 2 full-length adventures, 4 more combat maps, and music to die for. 9 audio tracks especially composed to enhance your Deadlands Noir sessions. These savings run through November 8th, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees, of course, after my cut, goes to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Russell asks, what happened to your voice, Jeff? Step in a mousetrap? Godfather Returns? Yes. Someone else talking about backing Kingdom Death. It's only over 2 years late. I hear stuff about Kingdom Death, and I hear people are like, oh man, they love it. And I see stuff about it, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So the Madman says, oh my God, the Kickstarters are delayed quite a while due to the shipping issues and container shortages. Yes. Well, the weird thing too is we've got stuff that's actually being produced, published here in the United States, and those are also taking a long time as well. So yes, it is not only the issues with overseas shipping, it's also our supply network here in the U.S. So Laura Martinelli has joined us. Took me a second to actually be able to see the name in chat. So welcome aboard. Thanks for popping on in. Yes, and that'll be the end of me doing any sort of oddball voices for the rest of the show. Yes, you can see when I'm, game mastering. I tend to bust out a lot of different voices. So let's talk a little bit about Starfinder, because there's a trio of Starfinder releases in November coming from Paizo Inc. Here's what's on the horizon. First off, we have the Starfinder Adventure Path number 42, Whispers of the Eclipse, which is chapter 3 of the Horizons of the Vast Adventure Path. Entering a call for help from a neighboring group of settlers, the heroes embark on a rescue mission that takes them to a hidden jungle valley, where alien dinosaurs prowl among alien elven ruins. The trail leads through a magical portal to an abandoned Aslanti base on the world's moon. They are survivors from a scouting mission gone awry, huddle in the darkness, hiding from a terrifying, malevolent creature from another plane. Spoilers! Whispers of the Eclipse is a Starfinder role-playing game adventure for 4 fifth-level characters by Kate Baker. This adventure continues the Horizons of the Vast Adventure Path, a 6-part bi-monthly campaign in which the heroes are at the forefront of exploring and charting a newly discovered world filled with mystery. This volume also includes a history of the diaspora of the elves, gear from an ancient spacefaring civilization, and a selection of diverse alien creatures. Each bi-monthly full-color softcover adventure path contains a new installment of a series of interconnected science fantasy quests that together create a fully developed plot of sweeping scale and epic challenges. Each 64-page volume of the Starfinder Adventure Path also contains in-depth articles that detail and expand the Starfinder campaign setting and provide new rules, a host of exciting new monsters and alien races, a new planet to explore, and a starship to pilot, and more. The softcover will carry an MSRP of $22.99. You'll be able to get the PDF for $15.99. This weekend, I will have my review of the second chapter of the Horizons of the Vast Adventure Path. Then we've got the Starfinder flip mat, Lava World. Whether the heroes are surveying a moon dotted with erupting volcanoes or fighting on unstable islands in the middle of an active lava flow, no game master wants to spend time drawing every volcanic rock outcropping and lava fountain. Fortunately, with Pathfinder's latest Starfinder flip mat, you don't have to. This line of gaming mats provides ready-to-use science fantasy set pieces for the busy game master. This double-sided map features a river of lava cascading down a cliff face on one side and a bubbling lava lake filling a crater on the other. With Starfinder Flip Mat Lava World, you'll be ready the next time your players discover that the ground is lava. This carries an MSRP of $14.99. And then lastly, we have the Starfinder Society scenario, Season 4, Number 11, A World's Ambition. It is a scenario designed for levels 7 to 10. The effects of the Data Scourge attacks are still felt across Absalom Station and the Pact worlds, and the first Seeker is constantly seeking solutions. After hearing a rumor of Scourge-resistant technology on a distant world seeking Pact Protectorate status, Ihu Hadif arranges for a team of Starfinders to accompany the delegation of stewards and Xenowardens to review the world's petition. On the record, the Starfinders are concerned with evaluating the planet's ruins, but Ihu hopes they can learn about the mysterious technology supposedly being developed by the colonists. Missions are rarely so straightforward, however, and the PCs must contend with an overreaching church, their fellow diplomatic delegates, and dark secrets buried just beneath the surface of the colony's outwardly placid society. Will this world reach its ambition and become part of the Pact worlds? And does it really have access to technology that could help combat the Data Scourge? Most importantly, will the assigned agents survive their diplomatic mission? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This does carry an MSRP of $6.99. I believe it's for the PDF. And usually you would not be able to pick up the Society Adventures either for Pathfinder or for Starfinder. But because of COVID, you can. So there is that. So this is I believe we're getting close. I think next month should wrap up. I shouldn't say next month. I think December will wrap up this season, which is season 4. On to my final news piece. There's a new adventure that's arrived for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay from my friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Here's the latest on Feast of Blood. Sounds like a good Halloween adventure. To the east of Stirland lies the cursed land of Sylvania. But vampires are not the only blood-sucking horror that dwells amidst these haunted pines. A Geneinheist, Gesundheit, feast is planned, and the characters must provision it, lest they find themselves on the menu. Strange alliances must be struck and stranger threats navigated. The characters are to survive the Feast of Blood. In the east of Stirland lies the cursed land of Sylvania, a region of mountainous crags and dark forests. Many of its evil woods are widely known. Hungerwood, Tanglewood, Ghoulwood, names hinting at horrors lurking within. There are more obscure woods, not found on maps, but familiar to locals. The Bloated Copse and Toadstool Thicket are but two of many obscure woods known by Sylvian folk to never venture into unless your life depended on it. Spiderholt is another. Feast of Blood is a new scenario by Robin Lowe, packed with creeping horror, making it perfect for a single horror-filled play session. The adventure includes 4 pre-generated player characters, so you can dive right into the sanguine action. This 25-page PDF is available right now over at DriveThruRPG for $3.99. I am curious what we're going to see from Cubicle 7 now that the Enemy Within Director's Cut campaign is starting to wrap up. So, of course, I mean, all throughout, we've had these little adventures like Feast of Blood. But I'm kind of curious if Cubicle 7 is going to kind of stick with small, kind of one-shot-ish adventures, or adventures that conceivably you could string together as a campaign, or if we are going to see the powers that be, Dominic and the gang over at Cubicle 7, actually focus on another big campaign. Kind of curious, kind of curious. So once again, this is available at DriveThruRPG for $3.99. And of course, whenever I talk about DriveThruRPG, please keep in mind that the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, DriveThruRPG, swing over to thegaminggang.com first, click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do keep the Gaming Gang around. Also, Halloween time, you have freebies over at DriveThruRPG, DM's Guild, and Storyteller's Vault. Those are the 3 sites this year that you can get freebies. And every day at DriveThruRPG and DM's Guild is freebies. It's all different. So I have checked each and every day so far this week. And sometimes there's a little overlap between DM's Guild and DriveThru. There's 2 on DM's Guild, and sometimes one of them is already up on DriveThru as well. But getting a whole bunch of goodies. There was Fear Itself 2nd edition was one the other day. So pretty sweet. All right, let's see what's going on in chat, because it looks like we had quite a bit going on here. Kabuki Kids with us. Good to see Double K's in the house. So there's some discussion of Cubicle 7. Yes. So Thomas says they like what Cubicle 7 has been producing for WIFRIP, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And let's see. So Thomas says he's hoping they do some supplementary stuff for other regions. Madman says they love Cubicle 7. Their only issue from experience is estimated release dates come and go. They usually just go. I think part of that is because, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past, Cubicle 7 likes to release the PDFs and have them out for a bit so that whenever there's those eventual typos and things like that, they can address that before going to print. I think that's one of the reasons why release dates, because usually their PDFs are pretty close. They're not too far off as far as their release schedule that they announce. It's the printed stuff. It's sort of like, so Laura says they missed out on free RPG Day. So did I. Because the game store by me, and I don't have a bunch. There's only one, and that's about a half hour away. They were not taking part in free RPG Day. Boo. Boo. All right. Anyway, one other thing I should point out is if you like this video, if you like the channel, if you like the Gaming Gang website, by all means, you can buy me a cup of coffee or some soda. All you got to do is swing on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang. And I gotta thank a lot of people out there for popping out over there. I really do appreciate it. Because I don't run Kickstarters and things like that to stick around. So usually it's through advertising on the website. I don't like sitting there like, hey, come my Kickstarter. It's just not my thing. Okay, so I know quite a few people are probably tuning in because they want to check out Rackham Vale, which is from Crowbar Creative. It's written by Brian Saliba and Craig Schaefer, with artwork provided by Arthur Rackham, thus the name, and Joe N. Brown. The 156-page digest-sized softcover carries an MSRP of $25. You can get the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for the very attractive price of $7. We are also going to take a look at the Bestiary cards, which are available separately. They do carry an MSRP of $40. Russell Higgins asked, what's a soda? Or as some people like to refer to it, pop. Here in the Midwest, it's always soda. When I lived out west, it was pop. Every once in a while, you'd hear somebody say soda pop, but that just came across as very weird. So Kabuki Kid says, they thought I said Joe E. Brown, the actor. Wasn't Joe E. Brown the guy that the mob cut his throat? And then he talked like this after that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Madman says, in Michigan, they say pop. Kabuki Kid says soda in New Jersey. Nicholas says it's the poison that people put in their bodies for energy. No, that's Monster. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Rackham Vale. Ta-da! So this is a digest size because I do not have huge hands. I think we've talked about that before. So Disavowed says, excuse me, officer, did you just say meow? No, I did not. I did not meow say meow. Kelton says soda in Virginia. In Ohio, it's pop. Boris says pop in Canada. So Crowbar Creative says, for those interested, print-on-demand proofs of Rackham Vale were approved today and should be live in the next few days. And it's back in stock at Exalted Funeral as well. Yeah, we're not talking Exalted Funeral because I wish they had old school essentials in stock. But no. Flaming Heron says, we just say soft drinks for everything. Funny enough, in Texas, they refer to everything as a Coke. So if you wanted an orange soda, they'd ask for an orange Coke. No joke. Dead serious. The only thing they don't refer to as Coke is a Dr. Pepper. So there you go. So Russell's like, I'm so sorry I opened that rabbit hole. All right. So Rackham Vale, fantasy adventure from the art of Arthur Rackham. Let's take a look at the back. I won't read everything on the back here, but give you an idea. And the font is pretty small. Like the sundial, my paint box counts no hours, but sunny ones. Arthur Rackham. When the world was 100 years younger during the golden age of British book illustration, Arthur Rackham and his paint box gave birth to some of the most transportive, iconic, and magical images this or any world has ever seen. His work brought to life characters and settings from famous fairy tales, ancient mythology, and timeless classics. So let's jump in. So a few things I do want to point out. Of course, obviously enough, the fine folks over at Crowbar Creative has sent along this review copy for me to take a peek at. I have not cracked this open. This is not a review. Please keep in mind, not a review. I have not read this. I'm also going to stay picture in picture up here. So don't be shocked if I'm cutting off the upper left portion of the book. I am also not going to be looking at each and every page either. So it's also important to keep in mind that, once again, the fine folks over at Crowbar Creative sent this copy for me to take a peek at, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this video. I mean, these days, it's important that you know that. All right, let's jump on in. Aha, so we get a postcard size map, large postcard size map. That's kind of cool. Was that about 7 inches? I'm taking a guess, taking a stab. That's kind of cool. We'll actually zoom in, get a closer look at that at the end here. The first thing I'm going to point out is that the paper quality is very, very good. Nice, thick paper stock here. So it looks like we've got a bit of a chart, or I should say some tables. So we got Seelies, Unseelies, malevolent mythological creatures. Welcome to Rackham Vale. Inspired by and featuring the illustrations of Arthur Rackham, this narrow alpine valley is a mini setting that can be dropped into fantasy role-playing games with specific plot hooks or stumbled upon by adventurers trekking through remote mountains. It's a sandbox with several possible storylines, but no set sequence of events or pre-designed plot. Yeah, well, that's OSR. That's OSR, kids. That is the old school Renaissance. It is not set piece after set piece after set piece. Climb on the railroad, kids. Let's go. Toot toot. No. OSR is not like that. So we get a checklist for game masters. Of course, this is a game master facing book. This is not for players. Oh, that's kind of cool. What's not in this zine? I like that. At the beginning of your first session in the Vale. So this is actually a discussion. I guess it's a serious discussion about, I'm going to take a guess. These are illustrations that were not used for inspiration in this book. It's probably what I'm taking a guess. So Russell asks, are the Rackham figures that went under a few years ago based on this artwork? I don't know. I got to be completely honest here. And I'm sure I'm going to notice some artwork. I'll go, oh, yes. Now I know who this is. I got to be honest. I don't recall Arthur Rackham stuff. I believe we're talking about 1910s, 1920s is when he was very active. So we get into key features. There's our map again. Okay, so it looks like we are going to have, how many pages are going to be devoted to? 2, but then we got artwork as well. So we have the Golden River. So just to give you an idea of how this is broken out. So it looks like we got some flavor text here for the Golden River. Who or what is here? Some bullet points. What's interesting about it? And then we have mercury poisoning. Sweet. Excellent. That is what I think every role-playing game needs, is mercury poisoning. You know, I'm kidding. All right. So now I'm going to start skipping pages because, once again, I don't want, Crowbar Creative is looking to sell these books. They're not looking for me to show you everything in high definition in this book. So, see what else we have. The Chalcor Village, and we do have Crowbar Creative is pointing out that they and their brother are actually the authors of this book here. So Crowbar and Juice Bar Creative, the two brothers. I'm just teasing. I'm just kidding. All right, so we've got this village. We have Absinthe Town. Thomas says, mercury poisoning for the win. Yes, Omanal's talking about Mad Hatters. Yes, that is why they were mad. Just like I have read stuff about the fall of the Roman Empire where they think because all of their utensils and their plates and their cups and things like that were all made from lead, that eventually, all these Roman citizens had lead poisoning, and they were a little shaky. They're a little shaky there. So the old keep. Edithian? Not even close. That was not even close. It's kind of cool. We get so far, it looks like most of the locations give us some sort of a table. So we had the mercury poisoning. Here we have random encounters. So not all of these have 2 pages. So these look like they're 1 page. So it's Edithton. named for I guess Arthur Rackham's wife, Edith. The Alchemist's Tower. The Apple Tree, which is, I think, where they get Snapple. I think Snapple comes from the Apple Tree. I might be wrong. Fairy Hinges. Aha, now we get into factions. And it appears we get a bit of a diagram of how these factions connect and interact. So immortals, fae, individuals. Aha, adventure hooks. So we have Vale adventure hooks, creature-specific adventure hooks. Skipping through a little bit of that. So now we've got our Bestiary. So Omenal says, plenty of art. I think there's 100 pieces of art in this. I'm not positive. I think that's what I remember from the news piece, that there are 100 pieces of art. So we've got Brella the Spook. So we've got Damsel of Distress Threats. It's the Duppy Cats, Duppy Caps. Thomas says there's an old lead mine nearish them called Odin's Mine. And the weird thing is there was limestone nearby, and that affected them more than the lead. They all had goiters from the water. Oh, wow. Double K mentions there's art on just about every page. Yeah, it does look like that. So Thomas says several of those folks were known to get severe shakes. Yeah, being a miner was, even today, being a miner is certainly not easy. It is not an easy job. Kevin R. Smith is with us in chat. Good to see you, Kevin. I don't know, maybe I missed you popping in. So good to see Kevin hanging out. Kabuki Kid says they prefer black and white. It's a nice old school style. I will mention that the artwork is reprinted here. It's pretty nice. You know, sometimes we run across some of these releases that have older pieces of art, and sometimes they're real fuzzy, and we are not seeing that here. So pretty clear for the most part. So this is our bestiary here that we're taking a peek through. So we've got various different trees. We've got the Leviathan. Role-playing. The Leviathan doesn't role-play. It uses supreme stealth and devastating strikes to feed. It detests mercury poison things, however. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Now we have, there you go. There is the mercury poisoning for the win. When you're taking on a Leviathan. Absolutely perfect there. Of course, I will have a review of Rackham Vale in the near future. It's the No Moon Crone. Who is she? Powerful sorceress, extractor of secrets, and blackmailer extraordinaire. She takes various incorporeal forms depending on the time of day and moon phase, but she can only take physical form on nights in which the moon and I got to be honest, the font here is pretty small. Is not in the sky. On new moon nights and during lunar eclipses, she becomes corporeal and her terrible power waxes. Cool. Plagueum the Snugger. Omenal says full color would be awesome for the art. Yes, but then you're going to look at a much higher price for the book, where I mean, granted, this is considered to be a zine. I mean, this to me, this isn't a zine. This is a digest sized book. And you figure your MSRP on this is $25, and you can grab the PDF at DriveThruRPG for $7. If this were in full color, you're looking at quite a bit more than that. So we got Root Trolls, the Slaver Carol Nang, the Toad Prince, the Cursed Warlord. Who is he? A human prince turned into a toad by a witch. When freed from the curse by a princess in search of a mate, the prince was incensed. He hated the politics and backbiting of court life and sought out a witch who could help him escape into a simpler existence. Oh, that's pretty good. So there's some discussion of Changeling, which is a World of Darkness game. It is, I'm 99% positive that it is part of the Storyteller line. So we have the Weather Vanes. So we've got tables for creating settlements and creatures. Yes, the OSR usually has some random tables. More at creating things and to kind of inspire your role playing as a game master, as opposed to, well, we're going to randomly generate an adventure. And we get some backers from the Kickstarter, and then we get a bit of a bio about Arthur Rackham, and then we get some calendar information on the back. And that is Rackham Vale from Crowbar Creative. And I saw something in chat, something floated by that Crowbar Creative is thinking about doing a color edition of this. So let's get a little bit closer in. We're going to take a look at this little map. That's as close as we're going to get. So this is the map of Rackham Vale. And then we're going to take a peek at the Bestiary cards, because we were just talking about color, right? So as I had mentioned before, these cards carry an MSRP of $40. So we're just going to flip through these, and I'll tell you right now, nice, thick cardstock. Not like playing cards. So as you can tell, there isn't like a linen finish or anything. But we'll just kind of zip through so you can get a better look. So this is the artwork that was utilized as creatures. So as an example here, this is Brella the Spook. So all the information that we had in the book is right here for us as well. So pretty handy for the game master, because if they're utilizing some of the creatures from the bestiary or some NPCs, they can pull the ones that they're going to be using and have those handy, as opposed to flipping back and forth in the book. So we've got that. So let's just take a peek. Oh, hey, it's my cat. It's Smokey. Yep, my cat is all black. If you follow the gaming gang, you know my cat Smokey. She's all black, and I adopted her because I went to a shelter, and they said, yeah, people just to this day still do not really adopt black cats, and I was like, F that. I'm like, you're coming home with me. All right, kind of taking a peek here. In complete honesty, I don't recall any of this artwork. So I have not seen Arthur Rackham's artwork in the past. Laura says, Smokey, mine is all black too. His name is Piewacket. That's pretty funny. So I had two cats. So one was Smokey and the other cat was Bandita because they're both females. So, of course, Smokey and the Bandit. Unfortunately, Bandita is not with us anymore. But yeah, it was funny. The cats were hysterical because they would kind of fight, and then I like leave, like go to the store, go to work, whatever, and then I'd come walking in to the apartment, and they'd be sitting on a chair, kind of with their paws wrapped around each other, and they're like, zoinks, we've been busted. It's like, yeah, you guys love each other. This artwork is very cool. I would take a peek at the back of this again. Root Trolls. I think there are 24 of these. Madman's saying they're really digging this. The Madman's wife must despise me. Because it's like, oh, he's spending money again after watching that show. He's watching that guy's videos again. He's spending money. Thomas says they have a friend whose black cat is also called Piewacket. So Kabuki Kid says they've got two cats, Sam and Max, Samantha and Maxine, or like Sam and Max, the video game. Cool. There we go. All right. So I don't know if you're going to really be able to tell the thickness here, but as you can see, it's not all like floppy or anything like that. Very nice. Very cool. And once again, these are available separately from the digest, and these carry an MSRP of $40. All right. Once again, that is Rackham Vale. I will have a review of Rackham Vale probably within the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Thomas says, also in the info on each bit, they have stuff underlined with dots. Those are secrets about location, creature for the more investigative player to uncover. I did notice that we've got some bullet points, which I always like. This is formatted for old school essentials. Now that doesn't necessarily mean, anything. But some of the adventures for old school essentials have been really, really well received. Others, not so much. But there is kind of a consistency for some of the OSE approved releases. And one of them is the bullet points. And that's something I enjoy in my role-playing game adventures because I've talked about it umpteen times. I'll switch cameras, swing back over here. Talked about it a lot, how I am not a fan of just read aloud, and just watching. You'll see your players just tuning out as you move into like the fourth paragraph of read aloud, which is what I have to laugh because Wizards of the Coast have done studies and they've even publicly said that read aloud in a role-playing game adventure should never be more than 3 sentences. Yet they break their own rule all the time. So Nicholas says they always wanted to have a black Egyptian hairless cat and name it Bast. Sweet. All righty then. Once again, don't forget this week, through most of the month of October too, the Gaming Gang and the Gaming Gang Dispatch have been brought to you by RockCon. That is right, RockCon taking place in Rockford, Illinois this weekend, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. There is going to be historical games, miniatures games, science fiction games, board games, role-playing games, whole bunch of gaming going on. I will be there Friday, and Saturday. If you happen to be swinging by, say hi. I mean, you'll recognize me, of course. Anywho, that is it for this time out. Once again, do want to point out, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as tomorrow's review of Dungeons & Dragons, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. And don't forget, you have 4 hours. In fact, you have 3 hours and 59 minutes to get on board for your shot at winning my copy of the alternate art edition of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Got to watch the first look video. Pretty easy to get into the running as well. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, we are still in the midst of the Gaming Gang October Spooktacular 2021. And not only does that mean that each and every day you're going to find a new tabletop-related video over on the Gaming Gang and thus on the channel, every evening at 9 p.m. Central, I host a spooky old-time radio show that is destined to put a chill down your spine. Yes. So in about an hour, you will have a new show to listen to. So if you're in the mood for Halloween spooky stories, by all means, check out Tonight Makes the 20th episode. So there is plenty for you to listen to. All right, those of you who were hanging out live, thank you very much. Just zip over at the final thoughts popping through in chat. So Nicholas says they're going to Game Hole. It's so weird. There's 3 conventions going on this weekend. There's RockCon, there's Game Hole, which I didn't realize was this weekend, because I would have thought, considered popping up there. And then there's, I think it's called Dragonfell, which is, I think Saturday and Sunday, and that is in Lake Geneva. It's a charity convention with, tabletop gaming in that. All righty then, let's see. Yep, I think we are all set. So Laura says that they like the spooky radio shows. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of old time radio shows. I used to run an old time radio website years and years ago, so I actually have tens of thousands of old time radio shows. Russell says, "Where's the show?" I don't know. I don't know if he's talking about where's the old time radio show, or where's the convention, or I know GameCon is in Madison, Wisconsin. This, I think, like I said, I think it's called Dragonfell. That is in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And RockCon is in Rockford, Illinois, which is about an hour and a half away. Laura says, classics, they're so good. Turn on the lights, grab a glass of wine, light a candle, and listen. Everybody out there, got to point out the old time radio show. It's on thegaminggang.com. It's the October Spooktacular. I haven't done it in 4 years. I think the last time I did it was 2017. But this is like the 4th time that I've shared. And there are new old shows, I guess I'll say, this time around as well. So yeah, swing on over to the gaminggang.com. Check them out. What I was going to say, if you have not listened to the thing on the Forble board, give it a listen. I swear, in my opinion, is the creepiest old-time radio show ever. All right. So those of you who were watching live, thank you very much. I always appreciate you taking some time out to keep me company so I don't feel like a complete doofus. But I know there are a lot of people out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live. Maybe you're watching on Memorex. thank you as well. I appreciate anybody who takes some time out to watch this goofball. I will be back on Monday. So everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. If you're going to any conventions, have a good time. And of course, until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. See you Monday. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.